Out in rural America, the word Magnum does heavy lifting. Folks strap a .357 Magnum to their hip before stepping off the porch, feeling ready for anything. But that name creates a dangerous blind spot. You start confusing the power of a handgun with the power you need when things get ugly. Around the barn, that confidence is justified. But walk past the property line into the woods, and reality shifts. Face a massive hog or a real predator, and that heavy steel on your belt is still just a handgun. Your expectation gets violently tested. We are not just listing revolvers today. We are looking at 5 specific firearms to figure out where the capability of this round ends and where the false confidence begins. We need to know if this caliber is truly enough gun or just a comfortable illusion. To answer that, we must start with why people fall into this trap. It usually begins with a gun that is just too convenient to leave behind. We start this list with the exact reason so many guys in rural America swear by this caliber. The Smith Wesson Model 686, with a 4-inch barrel, is the definition of a practical carry revolver. When you are fixing fence lines or riding the tractor, you do not want a rifle slung across your back, catching on every branch and wire. You want something on your hip that you can forget about until you need it. The L-frame Smith & Wesson strikes what many consider the perfect balance. It is heavy enough to handle the recoil of a real defensive load, but not so massive that it pulls your belt down to your knees by noon. Mechanically, it is a proven workhorse. The double action is smooth, the single action is crisp, and the stainless steel finish means a little truck sweat or light rain is not going to ruin your investment. You can run light .38 special loads for target practice or snake duty and step up to heavy magnums for larger pests. That versatility is exactly why folks trust it. But here is the problem. Because the 686 is so useful for 90% of your daily farm chores, it tricks you into thinking it can handle the last 10% too. It becomes your default answer for everything. You get so used to seeing it on the passenger seat that you stop asking if it is the right tool for a deep woods trip. It is a fantastic 4-inch handgun, but it is still just a 4-inch handgun. It does not magically generate rifle ballistics just because it says Magnum on the barrel. A lot of folks think that 4 inches of barrel is plenty to get the job done on a medium-sized hog, and at close range, they are right. But if that hog is moving, or if you are dealing with a predator out past 30 yards, the energy drops off faster than you might realize. The truth is, the 686 compromises barrel length for comfort. On the pro side, you get an incredibly durable stainless steel revolver that fits perfectly in a truck console and handles beautifully in a rush. On the con side, carrying it all day still requires a heavy gun belt, and you are leaving a lot of powder unburned outside the muzzle. If you are looking at pricing, a new 686 will generally run you right around $900 to $1,000 depending on the local shop. That is a fair price for a lifetime tool, but it only proves why men carry it, not that it can replace a long gun. If you want to see how this caliber tricks us into thinking we have more control than we actually do, we have to look at a gun that hides the recoil. When folks talk about how easy the .357 Magnum is to shoot, they are usually thinking about a gun exactly like the Ruger GP100 with a 6-inch barrel. This revolver is the reason we develop a false sense of shootability. If the Smith & Wesson is about balance, the Ruger is about brute force. This gun is built like a bank vault. The frame is overbuilt, the cylinder locks up tight at 3 points, and the heavy underlug barrel hangs out there pulling the muzzle down with sheer gravity. When you load a heavy hunting cartridge into this cylinder and pull the trigger, the gun soaks up the punishment. It turns a sharp, violent snap into a hard, manageable push. You can shoot full power loads all afternoon and your wrist will not complain. That creates a very specific kind of confidence. You watch the steel ring at 50 yards, you feel the mild recoil, and you start thinking, this cartridge is a breeze to handle. But that is an illusion. The control you are feeling comes from the massive chunk of steel in your hands, not from the cartridge itself. This is the trap. A lot of guys learn to shoot magnums on a heavy GP100, and then they go buy a lightweight snub nose or a polymer frame revolver for daily carry, expecting the same experience. When they pull the trigger on a light gun, the blast, the flash, and the recoil are completely uncontrollable. The GP100 masks the brutal nature of the round. For a rural owner, the GP100 is an incredible piece of equipment. It does not need babying. You can drop it in the mud, wipe it on your jeans, and it will still fire. The peg-style grip frame lets you customize the grip to fit any hand size, which is great for older shooters dealing with arthritis. On the pro side, it is virtually indestructible and offers a long sight radius that maximizes the potential of the cartridge. On the con side, a 6-inch GP100 is a heavy piece of iron to drag through thick brush, and it is slow to clear a holster if you are caught off guard. Right now, you can find a GP100 for around $900 to $1,050 on the shelf. The GP100 makes the caliber look incredibly controllable, but that control belongs to the gun. Before we move on to the next firearm, we need to talk about what happens when you take that false confidence into the deep woods. We are about to look at a gun so legendary that people trust it blindly, and we have to ask if that trust is going to get someone hurt. If there is one gun that proves how much faith we put into a name, it is the Colt Python with a 6-inch barrel. This is the peak of the woods confidence argument. For decades, the Python has been the gold standard of American revolvers. It is beautiful, it is perfectly balanced, and the action is so smooth it feels like it runs on glass bearings. When a man buys a Python, he is not just buying a tool, he is buying a legacy. And because of that legendary status, folks tend to believe that holding a Python makes them invincible. If you are walking into bear country or tracking a wounded boar into thick palmettos, having a 6-inch Python in your chest rig feels like the ultimate insurance policy. The ventilated rib barrel and the deep bluing or modern stainless steel just look like they mean business. Mechanically, the leaf spring action provides a trigger pull that most other revolvers can only dream of, allowing for incredible precision when you have the time to line up your shot. The barrel is known for exceptional accuracy, squeezing every bit of performance out of the heavy loads. But this is where the reality of the woods crashes into the myth of the gun. Out in the timber, a charging predator does not care how much your revolver costs. A thick, muddy hoghide does not care about the heritage of the Colt snake guns. The Python is a masterpiece of engineering, but it is firing the exact same cartridge as the cheaper guns we just talked about. This is the most dangerous trap a rural gun owner can fall into. You start believing that a great revolver removes the physical limits of a handgun. It does not matter how smooth the trigger is, if a 158-grain bullet does not have the mass or the velocity to break down heavy shoulders and thick bone. The Python gives you the confidence to take the shot, but it cannot change the laws of physics once the bullet leaves the muzzle. On the pro side, you are getting world-class accuracy, an unmatched trigger, and a firearm that holds its value better than almost anything else in the safe. On the con side, the action is more complex and less tolerant of fine grit and mud than a simpler design, and the high price tag makes a lot of folks hesitant to actually use it in harsh weather conditions. If you want to put a new production Python in your holster, you are looking at spending roughly $1,500 to $1,600. The Python is not the problem here. The problem is expecting a premium handgun to do the job of a rifle. And that brings us to the most important question of this entire list. We have spent this whole time looking at how this caliber performs on a belt. But if the problem is the limits of a handgun, what happens when we change the rules completely? Before we go higher, I want to know where you stand on this. Would you trust your life in the deep woods to a premium 6-inch revolver? Or have you already figured out that the woods require a different kind of tool entirely? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. The whole time we have been talking about this caliber, we have been looking at it through the lens of a handgun. We have been judging its power and its limits based on a piece of steel hanging off a belt. But if the problem is the platform, what happens when you change the platform entirely? That brings us to the Marlin 1894C, chambered in .357 Magnum. This rifle represents the biggest twist in the entire debate. When you take this cartridge out of a revolver and slide it through the loading gate of a lever-action carbine, the entire conversation changes. Suddenly, the limits we just spent so much time talking about start to disappear. This is the platform argument in action. For over a century, pairing your rifle and your sidearm with the same ammunition has been a cornerstone of rural American logistics. It makes sense when you are buying boxes of ammo at the hardware store and do not want to mix up calibers in the dark. But the real magic happens in the barrel. When you fire a .357 Magnum out of an 18-inch rifle barrel, the ballistics wake up in a way that a short revolver simply cannot match. The longer burn time pushes a 158-grain bullet significantly faster, giving you a massive jump in muzzle energy and a flatter trajectory. A shot on a coyote that would be a hopeful prayer with a handgun becomes a routine, high-confidence squeeze of the trigger with this carbine. You have 4 points of contact: your shoulder, your cheek, and both hands are stabilizing the firearm, plus a much longer sight radius. It turns a cartridge that feels borderline into a highly capable brush gun. But this is exactly where the trap springs shut. Guys see what the .357 Magnum can do out of a Marlin carbine, and they use that success to justify carrying just a revolver into the deep woods. They look at the energy numbers from a rifle and somehow transfer that confidence to the gun on their hip. You cannot use the success of a carbine to prove that a handgun is enough for every situation. The platform matters just as much as the cartridge. The Marlin proves that this round can be incredibly capable around the farm. It swings fast, points naturally, and the recoil is almost non-existent. You can hand this lever action to an older guy with bad shoulders, and he can run it all day without flinching. But we have to look at the honest limitations. Even with the ballistic jump, this is still a pistol caliber. Once you push past 100 or 125 yards, that bullet starts dropping fast, and the energy bleeds off. It is not a 30-30, and it is not a full-power rifle. You are also dealing with the reality of a tube magazine. Loading takes time, the gate can be stiff, and you cannot just slap in a fresh magazine if things go wrong. On the pro side, you get a lightweight, fast-handling truck gun that maximizes the potential of the ammunition you already own. On the con side, you are paying rifle prices for a gun that still limits your effective range, and unloading a tube magazine with cold fingers is always a chore. If you want a new production Ruger-built Marlin, you are looking at a price tag right around $1,000 to $1,200. The carbine proves that the round has hidden potential, but it still does not answer the ultimate truth about carrying this caliber on your belt. To find the final answer about the .357 Magnum, we have to strip away the modern advantages. We have to take away the fast double-action triggers, we have to lose the long rifle barrels, and we have to go back to the fundamental roots of rural carry. That brings us to the Ruger Blackhawk. This is the old-school truth argument, and it is the exact place where the false confidence of the Magnum name finally gets checked by reality. The Blackhawk does not pretend to be a high-speed tactical solution, and it does not try to be a primary hunting rifle. It is a single-action workhorse, built like a bank vault. When you look at an older farmer or rancher carrying a Blackhawk, they did not choose it because they think it is the most powerful thing in the world. They chose it because it is simple, it is rugged, and they understand exactly what it is capable of doing. Mechanically, the single-action grip frame is a masterpiece of recoil management. Instead of driving the force straight back into the web of your hand like a double-action revolver, the plow handle grip allows the gun to roll upward in your palm. This bleeds off the sharp snap of heavy Magnum loads, making it surprisingly comfortable to shoot, even with stiff hunting ammunition. And because Ruger overbuilds these frames, you can run the hottest factory loads without worrying about stretching the top strap or throwing the cylinder out of time. But the real value of the Blackhawk is what it does to your mindset. Because it is a single action, you have to manually cock the hammer for every single shot. You cannot panic and dump the cylinder. The gun forces you to slow down, aim deliberately, and make the first shot count. It removes the illusion that you can spray your way out of a bad situation in the woods. And this is the core of the entire debate. The .357 Magnum has survived this long because it is an incredibly useful, versatile tool when the job actually fits the gun. It is perfect for dispatching livestock, dropping medium pests, and handling routine farm chores. The problem only starts when pride, nostalgia, or the word Magnum makes the decision for you. When you carry a Blackhawk, you are accepting the limitations of a handgun. You know you are not carrying a bear gun, and you act accordingly. You respect the woods, you stay aware of your surroundings, and you do not pick fights you cannot win. You trust the tool for what it is, not for what the movies tell you it should be. On the pro side, the Blackhawk is virtually indestructible, incredibly safe to carry fully loaded thanks to the transfer bar mechanism, and handles recoil better than almost any other design on the market. On the con side, it is incredibly slow to reload through the single-side gate, and the manual of arms requires dedicated practice to master under stress. Ejecting empty brass one at a time while standing in the freezing rain is nobody's idea of a good time. If you want to buy a brand new blued Ruger Blackhawk today, you should expect to see a price tag right around $750 to $850 on the shelf. That is a fair price for a piece of iron that will easily outlast you and get passed down to the next generation. We started this list looking for the truth about the .357 Magnum in rural America. We saw how easy it is to carry, how well it shoots from a heavy frame, and how a premium name can make you feel invincible. But we also saw that putting this cartridge into a rifle changes the whole conversation, and that an old-school single action forces you to respect the actual limits of a handgun. The reality is simple. The .357 Magnum is a brilliant cartridge for everyday farm chores, but it is not a magic wand that replaces a proper long gun when you step into real danger. The false confidence does not come from the gun. It comes from the man holding it, expecting it to do a job it was never built for. When you understand exactly what you have on your belt, it will never let you down. Does your current setup reflect the reality of your land, or are you just relying on a legendary name to keep you safe? If you're watching from the living room couch, pull out your phone, open up the YouTube app, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.